Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of Kickin' It with Saint, man. I was about to fuck up right there, didn't you? Getting 3 of these this week because I wasn't on time with the other one. Of course, was not my fault. A lot of motherfuckers running around getting COVID, bro. That shit had me thinking that I had COVID for a second, but I know my body, and my body knows me. You know what I'm saying? My body is getting a little punkish, weak at this advanced age of 27. But my body gonna have to get it together, cause I cannot light this fucking match, cause we got some. My body better get it together, cause we gotta blow up, man. We gotta get big. We got goals to accomplish. We got dreams to chase. My body gonna have to stick with it. Give it a program. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. Before we start this podcast, bro. Well, the podcast already started. We plugged in. But look. I wrote down on my notes, every time you smoke a blunt, start recording the podcast, G. So we here. Check this out. I had just said how everybody catching COVID and all that shit like that. Bruh. Y'all hear about Aaron Rodgers? No, y'all heard about Aaron Rodgers. Man said he got he was abused, or he got it abused up. I can't remember what the fuck he said. I remember what he said, can't remember the word he used, but Aaron Rodgers. It's funny because I don't care that Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaccinated or took some alternate route or whatever. My problem is, like I said in an earlier podcast, you see how the media acted, specifically Stephen Coon Smith. You saw how he acted when he found out Aaron wasn't vaccinated, when he found out Josh Allen wasn't vaccinated. You probably didn't even know Josh Allen wasn't vaccinated unless you listen to this, and I don't mention that shit every week, so you probably forgot that anyways. However, you see how he acted against Kyrie and against Lamar Jackson. But look, the dude's a coon, man. Anytime, and they going crazy on Twitter against the goof today, bro. Anytime this motherfucker gets on First Take, bro, he loved tearing down black athletes, man. I don't understand why he loved doing it so much, but he loved doing it, and he'll love to kick you his little stupid goofy ass sob story of how he came from the struggle. Everybody got a sob story, my boy. That don't give you a right to be no coon. This dude can tell me he love black people all he want to, bro. Actions speak a whole lot louder, bro. But fuck a action when your words is saying here all that coon shit too. So, you know what I'm saying? The dude's a walking, talking coon, bro. What they say, walk like a coon, quack like a coon. It's a coon. It's Stephen A. Smith. Yeah. So, or Jason Whitlock. I'm not even gonna go down the list of all the coons in the world. But anyways, yeah, just you see the backlash Lamar and them boys got compared to the white quarterbacks that Stephen A. I saw somebody tweet Stephen A.'s boyfriend got COVID without the vaccine, and I ain't hear nothing. Now, if you follow me, you know I'm all about personal. You make your own decision. I'm not. Nobody should be forced to get vaccinated. People got their own beliefs. Even if you don't agree with their beliefs, that's what make this world supposed to make this world great. Is everybody has different beliefs, and we accept everybody else, unless it's ignorant, like races and white supremacists and all that goof shit. But how can I forget our coon Jamels? Anyways, everybody should be able to make their own decision. We ain't finna get into all that on here. You don't come here to listen to me talk about COVID. Even though I talk about a lot of different shit, man. I be rambling. That was the name of the first podcast until I eventually changed it. It was called Rambling with Saint. Now it's just Kicking It with Saint. I dumbed it down. I was like, we be rambling and kicking it at the same time. But yeah, that was the Aaron Rodgers thing. But yo, we gotta have a conversation, man. We gotta have a conversation. And we had the same conversation almost every single episode of every single podcast. I don't think it's a single podcast that I've done where I don't talk about Baker fucking Mayfield. Baker Trashfield. Except for on my wrestling podcast, which I'm not even up to date on that. Like, I am a piece of shit, but I will be on that Friday. But man, I know y'all see the news this week. So Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr.'s father came out and basically released a video of Odell being missed by when he wide the fuck open by Baker. Didn't have to show me that videotape. I told y'all I watched the Cleveland Browns play ever since Baker Mayfield made that comment. We knew we needed to make make him throw when he was addressing Lamar Jackson. So I've been watching Cleveland Brown games faithfully for about a year and a half, 2 years probably. That's how I know Baker's trash. For one, let's break it down. So this is going to be a big Cleveland Browns episode. Could care less about how Cleveland Browns fans feel. I keep telling y'all, man, y'all a bunch of bozos, man. And the ones who smart enough to realize that Baker Mayfield is the problem, not the guy who is the solution, then Cleveland's going to be a much better place. And to those fans who understand that and realize that, kudos to you. You stuck in a hellhole right now. You might as well switch teams because I don't think they're going to release Baker. However, Baker Mayfield, I'm going to tell you what's funny to me. Baker Mayfield has not been good in the NFL. He's been mediocre. He's been average. But for the most part, he's an average quarterback. Odell Beckham Jr. has been the best receiver in the league. But for some reason, everybody keep giving Baker Mayfield the benefit of the doubt and not Odell. For some reason, Odell is the problem, not Baker. Now, one of the reasons this is a weird thing to be blaming, because for one, Cleveland I really believe that Stefanski, just based on the play calls and what I see from them, he know Baker's not it. Andrew Berry and all them boys up there, I'm pretty sure they realize Baker is the problem, which is why I'm starting to believe that's why they haven't got rid of Odell. Now, upon the time of me releasing this, they could end up releasing Odell because they send him home today. Kevin Goofball Stefanski, and I like Kevin Stefanski. Not at the moment, though. Kevin's a goofball, bro. I heard somebody say this. I can't remember if it was on the Pat McAfee show or if it was on a different show that I was watching. I didn't watch a lot of shows today. I recorded the podcast early this morning when I felt like I was healthy enough to do it. Waited till that shit got uploaded and did all that. Tweeted a little bit, went to sleep, woke up, did some work. Now I'm back on this podcast like a couple hours later. Worked earlier. So I haven't really had the time to watch a lot of shit today. But the shit that I did watch, I heard somebody say, like, Baker Mayfield is, like, big on and off. I'm not Baker. Odell Beckham is big on and off the field. So every time people take shots at him, it's going to be a crowd or an army of Odell fans. And you motherfucking right. You motherfucking right, bruh. Because we done seen Odell Beckham be great. We've seen, and a lot of motherfuckers who ignorant like to say, oh, bruh, he just made that one catch. You goof. Go look at the man's stats when he was in New York, bruh. Odell Beckham Jr. is not an average receiver, bruh. He is not an average player. Odell Beckham Jr. was on Jerry Rice level when he was in his, and I'm not going to say when he was in his prime, because the man can enter his prime if he just had a good fucking quarterback, bruh. See, this is the problem. Oh, like I said, we've seen Odell Beckham Jr. be great. You've never seen Baker Mayfield be great. You just give him a lot of credit for other people's success. Like his little short route throws that he throw and pick up big gains from other people picking up the big yards. But you give Baker Mayfield credit for those wide open throws where other dudes is picking up all the yards. You give him the credit that you should be giving Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But you don't want to do that. You give it to your quarterback because that's what people do. You overrate your quarterbacks. Even though this is very crazy in Cleveland, how they could be so blatantly overrating Baker Mayfield. Like, this motherfucker has not been nowhere near a good quarterback. So the fact that they could still be blaming Odell for all this shit is wild to me. For one, if you look at Cleveland play, they rarely ever throw the fucking ball to Odell. That's the first thing. So it's very hard for me to see people always saying some shit like I saw somebody today say, man, if he forced the ball to Odell, it's a problem. If he don't throw it to him, it's a problem. Yeah, see, this is the problem, goof. He ain't forcing the ball to Odell because he don't throw it to Odell. Until shit get bad where they in some shit situations, they ain't been using Odell the whole game. Now they done fucked up and now they done played their cards wrong. Now they need Odell. And now he try to throw a pass to him and he throw a bad pass, but it's Odell's fault. That's what I'm saying. Good receivers ain't getting targeted once a game, bro. And then taking all the blame when the quarterback fucking up, bro. Like, what world are y'all living in? For one, Jarvis Landry get way more targets on that team than Odell. Jarvis Landry is nowhere near the receiver that Odell is. But Baker got y'all thinking that. I'm just saying. Y'all motherfuckers is wildly over. And matter of fact, let me not say y'all, because there's specific motherfuckers in the media who is always overhyping Baker Mayfield and such. Emmanuel Acho and Orlovsky is two guys that I continuously mention. Like, dead ass, bro. Y'all gotta watch Colin Cowherd, bro. And I usually don't recommend y'all watch these goofs on TV and shit, but I actually kind of like Colin Cowherd. I'm not gonna lie. He don't even agree with some of the shit that I say a lot of times, and I don't agree with the shit he say. But man, the motherfucker actually makes sense with a lot of his points and shit. So sometimes I'll be listening to that motherfucker and I'll be like, damn, bro, he kind of right. You know what I'm saying? But it also is times where I'm like, okay, man, what a goofball statement. But I tend to give Colin more leeway because he is one of the few analysts who I actually believe that's got a big platform. And he don't say a bunch of goofy shit to me. Now, I know a lot of people probably gonna be like, man, he just agree with you on Baker Mayfield, so blah. That motherfucker don't even know me. That motherfucker don't even know me. So what does that matter? He just clearly see what I see, and I see what he see. It's very clear. Baker Mayfield is not that guy. But y'all want to keep blaming Odell Beckham Jr. And this is the problem when you got great players playing with bad quarterbacks. And I'm pretty sure I done said this multiple times on other podcasts. When you got great players playing with bad quarterbacks and they've been carrying the quarterback all year, but you've been giving the quarterback all the credit, when the stats say, the eye test say, and everything else say that it's not the quarterback, it's the players, much like Baker. But then when those players finally start having a bad day or a bad game or get hurt and can't be the same, then you start to see, oh, okay, so you still blame them for it because they the ones who hurt and shit, but Baker don't raise his level of play, or that quarterback doesn't raise their level of play. You see what I'm saying? So it was all good when those players that was helping boost, bruh, was playing great and shit, but now the defense done started getting injured. They can't hold teams to a low score no more because it's late in the season. Teams starting to get into their formations and they scoring offenses easier. They can't run the ball on teams as great as they could early in the season because teams know that's what the Browns want to do. Run a bunch of screen passes, little dink routes, little short routes, and dominate with the run game. Now the receivers ain't getting open like they could off of those the running game. And now you need Baker Mayfield to step up and raise up his level of play. And he ain't doing it. He can't do it. But y'all keep making these excuses, blaming it. I want to know who is the other quarterback? I just want to know what's another quarterback who, because usually quarterbacks, it's like, oh, they don't have good enough targets and blah, blah, blah. This motherfucker got great targets and we blame it and y'all blaming Odell. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this before. I don't even think they blame Donovan McNabb and T.O. for that situation. Like, for not what? Like, if Donovan McNabb played bad, bro, I cannot remember. Did they blame T.O. for that? Either way, T.O. better than Donovan McNabb. Like, it's not even close. Like, if they did blame T.O., foolish. T.O. is a legend. Y'all know how I feel about T.O. if you watching. But like this, to me, this is crazy, bro. Like, it would be like blaming fucking Randy Moss for Tom Brady playing bad. Like, what? Like, I don't understand it. I never seen a team or a quarterback have analysts say they just don't got chemistry. Motherfucker, they been together for 3 years, bro. How about this nigga? This man's just not that great. How about that? How about that, bro? Because this shit getting a little bit crazy to me at this point, bro. Like, they really want to hate Odell for some reason. For one, the man don't argue, he don't fuss, he don't make a big scene no more. And I just want to say something else, but let me take a hit first. Basically, Odell haven't been acting like a diva, as the media says. And I used air quotes around diva because I don't like it when they call athletes divas. I think that's hella disrespectful. I don't think you would be calling them that to their face, in person. And they got the fans calling these motherfuckers divas. Like, oh, they a diva. Y'all call these motherfuckers divas for shit that y'all do in y'all everyday life. Like when you don't like your job circumstances and shit. And this is going on in the world right now where a lot of people is quitting jobs because they don't like how they treated at the jobs. They don't like the benefits at the jobs. They don't like the low wages at the jobs. But y'all hating these athletes for the same thing. But y'all excuse is, oh, well, they making millions. Okay, but they feel like their talents is worth more than that. Or they better than that. So just because you don't feel like you could do the same thing, or you are not a boss in your own life, or you don't demand what your value, you feel your value is, or maybe you just don't feel like you have a high value. I don't know. But you should get out of the you should get out of that what I want to call it. You need to get out of the cyclical cycle of blaming others for your lack of feelings toward yourself and your value and whatnot. You need to stop projecting that ignorance on the other people, because just because these athletes know they value, you can't hate them for that. Point blank period. Because the owners put a value on them, so why can't they put a value on themselves? That's all I'm saying. Then you got these bozo fans who don't pay for nothing, who put values on players. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so funny to me when I see players on Twitter be like, man, he ain't worth that. Bruh, is you cutting the check? And listen, I get it. Sometimes it is players who got absolutely outrageous contracts. But for one, why is we talking about other people's money? Like, I remember when that fucking WNBA player was making a case about how they don't get paid enough, and she used Braun and Heat's contract. I can't even remember bruh's name, but she used his contract. And I'm like, bruh, how can you use, I think it was Evan Fournier, but it might not have been, because I don't think he ever been on the Heat. It was the dude who was rotting on the Heat, that white dude who was on the Heat getting paid. I think it's Tyler Johnson. She used Tyler Johnson's contract, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this shit don't even make sense. The NBA pulling more money, so obviously lower rated players are gonna still make big bucks. Like, it's not even a comparable thing to me. The argument doesn't make sense comparing the WNBA to the NBA. Like, come on now. But hey, I'm just saying, we got all off topic though. But we heading back as I'm trying to light this shit again. That's why you gotta buy lighters, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, man, back to Baker Mayfield and Odell, man. So when Odell leave, right? Because I think Odell is eventually leaving, bro. I don't think Odell gonna stay. I think this was actually a calculated move by Odell. And after I take this hit, I'm gonna explain what I'm talking about. So I think this shit was calculated, very calculated, because I think the writing is on the wall. I think Odell realized, like, yo, I'm not getting nowhere with this goofball, bro. I'm not getting nowhere with this goofball, bro. I'm not, like, they go blame me anyway. Hey, this dude overthrow me all the time, underthrow me. He all off target when he try to throw it to me, bro. The time would be off of everything. I would be the one who get blamed for it anyway. So just trade me. Why don't the Cleveland Browns just trade him? If the Cleveland Browns fans think it's all Odell, if Cleveland think it's, if they front office and the coaches think it's all Odell, why don't they just trade him? Because the only reason they sent him home today was because it was his father, the video his father put out in the controversy or the little hype machine that started with the media and shit. But if not for that, he probably would still be at practice, and they still wouldn't be using him. But this is my thing. They don't use Odell, for one. And if he is such a problem, why not trade him, bro? You can't tell me that the man is untradeable. No person in the NFL is untradeable, bro. No person in sports is untradeable. It's not. Maybe Luau Dang was the only untradeable contract, and he fucking got traded. Timothy Mozgov got traded. So it's no such thing as an untradeable player, bro. So if they really wanted to trade that motherfucker, they could make a trade. It's simple as that, bro. Just like Cleveland, just like Houston, just like the other teams that fuck their teams up by not making trades and shit, and just holding on to players who don't want to be there and shit. And Odell haven't even came out and said he don't want to be there. Now clearly we know Odell does not want to be there. I don't think Odell ever wanted to be in Cleveland, but he always played a good soldier. Way better soldier than y'all try to say he played in New York, even though I didn't have no problems with the shit he was doing in New York. Dude got a lot of emotion in him, got a lot of heart in him. If you was on this stage, you don't know how you would act. We like to say how we would think we would act and all that type shit, but you don't know how you would really act. Motherfucker is invested in the moment. He not playing up to his standards. He pissed off about it. Yeah, maybe you would like to see him hone in those emotions. And he done that better over the years. But he was a young dude coming straight out of college. He was a young man in his early 20s, bro. He fuck up like everybody else. We see the Henry Ruggs situation. Like that's what's irritating me, bro. Because motherfuckers really try to treat him. People talk about Odell and treat Odell like the motherfucker's a bad person. Like he do shit off the field and all this time. Like he just go out and shit all over his teammates and his quarterback. And that's just not the case. So it's very weird to me how the media can make people hate Odell and view Odell. Like you could just go to any post and see people shitting on. Now, Odell got an army behind him. Don't forget that. Odell, one of the very few athletes that's bigger than like you know him outside of his helmet. He big. Most motherfuckers know his number, 13. Most like I'm him. That's my boy, Odell Beckham Jr. from New Orleans, bro. Not New Orleans, from Louisiana. Like that's Odell Beckham Jr., bro. The dude who fuck with Ked Gates. Like everybody fuck with Odell, bro. At least most black people fuck with Odell. I'm gonna just tell you what it is, bro. I done been in barbershops, I done been in cookouts. We fuck with Odell heavy. Like that's our guy. We fuck with Odell Beckham. He got an army of support behind him from the black community especially. But I know a whole bunch of white people who like Odell, bro. Like, I'm going to just be fair with Cleveland fans real fast. Because I done seen a lot of Cleveland fans come to the realization that Baker Mayfield is the problem. I even saw a Cleveland fan say that I pray we don't trade Odell and they still end up getting rid of Baker. Because if we can get a good quarterback, then we going to see what Baker worth. Than what Odell worth. And I agree with him 100%. And to me, that would be the only reason they holding on to Odell, especially if they don't release him after this, is because they don't think they're going to keep going with Baker, and they feel like if they can get a better quarterback in there, then why would we get rid of Odell when he would be a big piece? Because, listen, if you think Odell is so bad, like I said, trade him to trade him to the Packers. Trade him to the Bills, the Ravens. Trade him to a team with a quarterback who can play. And I promise you, you're going to have a whole different thought process. And it's weird, like I said, it's weird to me that y'all give Baker so much leeway. That motherfucker was the first pick in the draft, hasn't lived up to those expectations. Y'all also don't hold him to those expectations, especially the media. You barely ever heard them say anything about Baker Mayfield, bro. Usually people who was getting, like even when they talk about him, it's a bunch of excuses. Like I said, bro, I saw Monday, it was a bunch of people talking about the team let Baker down. Like, what about all the times Baker let them motherfuckers down, bro? Like, what are we doing? To me, this shit laughable, bro. It's goofy to me, to be honest with you, bro. Like, the excuses that they willing to make for this man Baker Mayfield, bro, knows no bounds, bro. It knows no bounds. And it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Because what has Baker Mayfield... That's what I want to know, bro. What the fuck has this dude done to make y'all cap for him so hard? Because the only thing that I can remember that people keep telling me is that, they haven't been this good until we got Baker. Like I keep saying, that is a really ignorant statement. And that's a what do you call it? That's a casual fan statement to say that your team got good when Baker Mayfield got there. That means you clearly don't watch the games, because Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is definitely the reason y'all was winning games. Like, I don't understand. And then people keep telling me, he done had multiple head coaches. For one, the motherfucker wanted Freddie Kitchens as his head coach. Like, can we stop acting like the motherfucker who he had in the second year was a bad head coach when that's who the motherfucker wanted? And maybe he was a bad head coach, but that's who Baker wanted. And what fucking rookie quarterbacks get to come in and pick their coach, bro? I think that's what should happen. But I'm not finna keep giving, like, what? Peyton Manning didn't pick his head coaches when he first came in. Tom Brady didn't pick his head coach when he first came in. They just made that shit work, bruh. Y'all give all these fucking excuses for Baker Mayfield, bruh. Fuck, bruh had 2 different head coaches in his first 2 years. Justin Herbert. You ain't never seen them talk down on him. Like, what are y'all doing, bruh? Like, every excuse you make for Baker Mayfield, I just have a counter, bruh. Like, what are we doing, bruh? Josh Allen has gotten better since being in the NFL. His head coach is not even an offensive-minded head coach. He's a defensive-minded head coach. Justin Herbert has had 2 different head coaches. Lamar Jackson has not had a pass-heavy offense because his head coach is not an offensive-minded head coach. John Harbaugh is a special teams defensive head coach. And the offensive coordinator has never been great passing the ball in his system. No quarterbacks pass the ball dominantly in a Greg Roman system. That's what Lamar Jackson been having to work with. Shit, I saw Joe Flacco go through multiple coordinators and still get to a Super Bowl and was getting to the playoffs on a yearly basis. Did not have the weaponry. And I just want to point this out. Lamar Jackson hasn't had that type of weaponry get to the playoffs every year. Joe Flacco doesn't have the weaponry that Baker Mayfield got to the playoffs nearly every year towards the end of that career. Justin Herbert is going to make the playoffs this year more than likely. Now, he does have weapons. But I mean, to me, they don't have the offensive mind that Kevin Stefanski is. Because Kevin Stefanski is a great head coach, in my opinion. He is a great head coach. You can look at the Browns playing under him the first 2 years. or last year and this so far this year. It's clearly a good team. But you look at these games this year and you say, what the fuck is the difference between last year's offense and this year's offense? Because everybody back, right? It's the same. So what's the difference? So go look at those games and go look at these. Now, I know what you're going to do. You're going to blame the running backs and Odell and blah, blah, blah. But if you just look at the regression of Baker Mayfield, it'd be very obvious to see what the fuck is wrong with. The man can't complete passes. They don't even like to have him throw the ball as much anymore like they did last year. Last year they could protect him and shit because they had the weak schedule and all that shit because they didn't make the playoffs the year before that. Now they don't have a weak schedule. They playing against a lot of good teams, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Cleveland fans talk about this team towards the end of the year because y'all got a lot of tough games coming up, and you better hope Aaron Rodgers is hurt because I think y'all play the Packers coming up in the next 2 weeks, and Cleveland might not have to play against Aaron Rodgers in the next 2 weeks if so, and that's a big help for Cleveland. I just want to say the two teams that don't have to play against Aaron Rodgers, it's two teams that lucked up because the Chiefs don't have to play against them. That is a game the Chiefs were going to lose. Like, the Chiefs were not winning that game with the way they play this year. And they're going to struggle beating the backup. That's how bad it is. And, bruh, the Chiefs dead ass could lose this game still. That's how embarrassing this Chiefs team has been this year. So they just caught a break if they can still pull out this win somehow because I just saw them struggle against Daniel Jones. And the Browns, because I believe the Browns played them a week after that. So them motherfuckers caught a break. And like I said, they could still end up losing. But I think Kevin Stefanski is a good enough head coach to where they won't end up losing that game. Now, Andy Reid's a good head coach too. But listen. Andy Reid, I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski and them boys could win it because he's a better head coach than Andy Reid and them boys could still. I'm not saying that. If you look at Cleveland, and listen, I know that Cleveland lost to the Chiefs early this season. I'm not comparing the head coach. Andy Reid's clearly a better head coach. What I'm saying is I think Cleveland as an overall team look better than the Chiefs right now. So I give them a better chance to beat the Aaron Rodgers-less Packers team than I give the Chiefs. And it's not really by much because the Browns barely fucking beat the Broncos with Teddy Midwater. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And that was with Case Keenum. Baker Mayfield's playing. He can end up turning the ball over, fumbling it, throwing picks and shit like. And that's what's funny because Kevin Stefanski's play calling is clearly to protect Baker Mayfield from turning the ball over, and Baker still finds ways to turn the fucking ball over because Baker turned the ball over at such a high clip his first couple years in the league. Nobody like to talk about that though. He was on pace with Jameis Winston for turnovers. So Kevin Stefanski's play calls is to heavy running with his running backs because he know how dominant they can be, which they got 3 good running backs at this point, so I don't understand why they didn't make a trade for one of them running backs or trade away one of them running backs. I don't understand. But I guess since you ain't paying really nothing to the third one, it's cool. But I don't know. I wouldn't be paying Kareem Hunt that much money when I got a younger back behind him who can do what he can do, and Chubb is my main back. But if you look at Kevin Stefanski's play calling, bro, they do a lot of play calling for heavy running. A lot of dink and dunking screens and shit like that. And the biggest thing that come out of it is play action. Like, when his team running the ball good, Kevin Stefanski be calling the fuck up out of that play action. And that's where he get Baker to be good. Now, like I done said multiple times, a quarterback that's only great out of play action, to me, is not a great quarterback. That's a great offensive coordinator because they realize the only way my quarterback is it's kind of like Jared Goff. Most of Jared Goff's offense, successful offense when he was with the Rams was because Sean McVay called up great play action plays for him. But most of the time they building up doing that from the run, screens, dinks, little slant routes, crossers, dig routes and shit like that. It's not no deep routes that's going deeper than 10 yards. Like, Baker Mayfield's deepest touchdown this year was to Njoku, I believe. That was only a 15-yard pass, I believe. Njoku got that touchdown and picked up all them yards because the bozo 24 on the mind you, this dude 24 for the Chargers, bro. This motherfucker almost fought a Patriot and his own teammate Sunday, bro. Yo, they got to do something with that motherfucker, man. You can't have motherfuckers on the team who still want to be thugs, bro. When you got motherfuckers on the team who still want to be gangsters, bro, you got to let them motherfuckers go, bro. Them type motherfuckers ain't come to play, bro. They came to fight. They ain't come to play. Playing was secondary. They was looking for a fight. That motherfucker, when you trying to fight your own team, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, that motherfucker 24 on the Chargers is wild, bro. I remember even tweeting about that shit on Sunday. But if he don't forget how to tackle, that shit don't even go for a touchdown. So, Like I said earlier in the video, y'all give Baker Mayfield a lot of credit for shit that his other teammates do. Like them little short routes he throw that his teammates pick up big gains on. Y'all give him a lot of credit for that, bruh. A lot of credit. That's because y'all some fucking scoreboard watchers. Y'all don't watch the actual game. Y'all just watch the box score. And it's cool. I ain't judging you. All I'm saying is this. The same motherfuckers who be out here scoreboard watching and box score watching, y'all be the same motherfuckers who arguing like y'all know everything that's going on, but then be quick saying, I don't got time to watch the whole game. Alright, cool. Well, stop arguing about shit that you don't know about. Alright, just because you come and you get on the box score, you get on NFL.com, look at the box score, Baker Mayfield got 200-something passing yards, you think, oh, he had a good game. Miss me with that. Y'all motherfuckers not watching the game. And what's funny is, Kevin Stefanski draws up the first couple plays of the game. Great. I think he one of the best coaches in the league at drawing up the first quarter. But Baker Mayfield done regressed so bad. He got y'all thinking that Stefanski a bad head coach now. See, this is what a bad quarterback do. Because that's the most important player on your team. So when a bad quarterback is as bad as Baker Mayfield and is regressing as fast as Baker Mayfield is, and now you want to blame the arm injury and all this other. Hey, listen, all I know is this. When you got a bad quarterback who got a bad arm too, and now his arm injured basically, it's all bad. So you keep now your bad quarterback who haven't raised his level of play but was the first pick in the draft. That motherfucker ain't never had to carry the Browns. And I keep hearing people make that argument too. Like, oh man, we asking Baker Mayfield to do shit that he ain't been asked to do. He was the first pick in the fucking draft, bro. What are you talking about? They drafted him with the expectations he was going to become the franchise quarterback and be able to carry this team. What they found out was, nah, we played ourselves. We should have took Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. We didn't want to trust Lamar Jackson in college. We didn't know much about Josh Allen. We didn't do our homework there. We wanted to take the big hype out of Oklahoma Baker Mayfield. So they took him with the expectation he was going to be the same dude he was in college. Carry the team, all that type of goofy shit. What they found out, like I said, was, nah, he's not that guy. And so now they've been having to find a head coach that could win games in spite of Baker Mayfield rather than because of Baker Mayfield. And Kevin Stefanski is very good at winning games in spite of Baker Mayfield that first year. See, Kevin Stefanski real good at buying your socks for Christmas and dressing it up and making the present look so fucking dope that you think it can't be no way. There's no way somebody would dress up a box of socks this fire. There's no way they're using this wrapper and the bow and the shit this fire for some socks. Nah, no way. They wouldn't waste their time and then you open it, it's fucking socks. It's underwear. It's not even PSD underwear. It's fucking Fruit of the Loom. The disrespect. The fucking disrespect. And that's what Kevin Stefanski been doing for y'all Brown fans. He been basically dressing up Baker Mayfield, making y'all think, which is wild to me because as great as he been dressing it up, at no point in time in Baker Mayfield's career has he looked as good or nearly even competent to Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Like, he's not in that stratosphere of those two quarterbacks, bro. Nowhere fucking near. So to me, the only person he been, and y'all like to say since Sam Darnold been so bad, that for some reason make Baker good, and nah. Like, both of them motherfuckers is below average quarterbacks, and you can't win with them. Carolina just found that out, what the Jets already knew, and that's exactly what, and that's funny because you can blame franchises and shit like that. See, to me, Trevor Lawrence would be an example of a franchise fucking up a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is clearly a talented quarterback. Clearly. Like, he does not look like if you look at Zach Wilson don't look like he a complete quarterback yet. Like, he look like it's still a lot of shit for him to work on. A lot of shit to work on. Like, he look like he could have stayed in college another year or two. You look at Kyler Murray his first year. He looked good, but he looked like maybe another year would have done him a little bit better. But you can't. Kyler's so nasty, like, you know what I'm saying? Because Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, both look like, they probably could have used another year in college, right? But they so ultra talented, they can figure it out on the fly. So when you got guys like that, then, you know, you can say fuck the other year, because, you know what I'm saying, that they can develop on the fly. That's not Baker Mayfield. That's not him. And didn't Baker stay all 4 fucking years in college? Bruh. Ah, boy, Baker Mayfield is fucking trash, bruh. I do not care how anybody feels about that statement. That motherfucker is trash. And it's gonna be somebody who like, oh, well, he a millionaire and you broke and you talking trash about a millionaire. All right, goof. All right. Like I said, Baker's trash. And y'all can blame Odell Beckham all you fucking want. You can blame him all you fucking want. It's just like I was telling my homie, man. Carolina sucks because of Sam Darnold and because of what they did to Cam. There's no two ways around it. And when you got motherfuckers talking like Terry Bradshaw, it's the best quarterback and Carolina done found their best quarterback. Come on, man. I be seeing Cam highlights all the time now, boy, from people saying, "Ooh, sure would be nice to have this quarterback." Or something. Like, what bothers me so much about Carolina is how they did him in the end. Like, man got hurt, you didn't protect him, you never fought for him. You didn't give him anything to work with for the receiving core and shit like that. And they gave up on him, right? Tossed him to the streets. Didn't even give him a chance to find a new team. Because none of this is happening right now. Cam Newton would have found a team if he got released at the beginning of free agency. He would be on a team right now because he would have been on a team of his choosing that chose him also. They would have been working together on this shit, and he would have been on a team right now. He wouldn't have had to be a late add to the Patriots and had to learn the system on the fly and shit like that. But because of how Carolina did him, so Carolina's going to be cursed forever, bro. They're going to be cursed forever. And I hope they keep Sam Darnold because he fucking sucks. This dude said, I see ghosts on a fucking NFL football field. And motherfucker still wanted to blame Adam Gase and everybody else, bro. The fuck Adam Gase supposed to do with a quarterback who talking about he's seeing ghosts, bro? What the fuck you talking about? To me, that's like the situation where Dan Campbell crying. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with a head coach just crying and shit after 4 losses, bro? Like, I've been with this franchise forever, and I done seen us go through a winless season, and this motherfucker crying because we 0-4, we're definitely going 0-17. You got Sam Darnold talking about some we seeing ghosts, yeah, it's time to draft a new quarterback. It ain't work. It's not going to work out, bro. And Carolina still, for some reason, took a chance on him and gave up on Cam Newton, a dude who took their team to a Super Bowl. It's very funny when you see what white dudes can have to do in the NFL to get a second chance and what black dudes have to do to get a second chance. Because Cam Newton took a team to a Super Bowl, was a perennial playoff quarterback, battled against some of the best defense. And that's something that's real crazy. Stephen A. don't never love to give Cam, because that's another person that Stephen A. done shitted on his entire career. Never gave Cam Newton a semblance of respect or an ounce of credit. Every time he talked about him, he always had to throw in the fact that he didn't think Cam was a good thrower of the football and shit like that. Newsflash, you cannot be as good as Cam Newton was. An MVP of the NFL had a season where they lost one fucking game, bro, and got to a Super Bowl. You know how hard it is to get to a fucking Super Bowl? Like I keep telling y'all, bro, Aaron Rodgers done been to 1 Super Bowl, bro. Drew Brees got to 1 Super Bowl, bro. Like what? Russell Wilson got to them 2 Super Bowls early, has not been back to another one. Like what? Joe Flacco, my Ravens in that 1 Super Bowl, bruh. Now Ray Lewis got the 2 of them, but Ed Reed got to 1 Super Bowl. Do you know how fucking hard it is for some of these best players on the best teams to get to Super? Tom Brady got y'all motherfuckers fooled, bro. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning got y'all motherfuckers fooled. Okay? As great as Aaron Rodgers is, the man been in 1 Super Bowl. Big Ben hasn't been back to the Super Bowl since they beat the Cardinals. Like what are we doing? Like, and for some reason, Cam gets no credit for taking a team to a Super Bowl. He gets no credit for having no fucking body on that. I saw somebody today try to say that Greg Olsen was basically a number 1 receiver that entire year. What are you talking about? Greg Olsen does not... As great as Greg Olsen is, Greg Olsen was great at working the intermediate routes. That does not matter if you don't have dudes on the outside. And Cam Newton being as great as he was without the running game and shit. Like, bro, go back and watch that season. Because his number 1 receiver was Kelvin Benjamin, and that motherfucker was hurt the entire year. Was out with an ACL tear. Ted Ginn was dropping pass after pass that year. Like, bruh. And yet, Stephen A. still find a way to disrespect him and discredit him. And because the media is so used to doing that, they got y'all doing that. So it take fans that's smarter than that, who really watch these games and really know these athletes and shit and understand, to give them their credit and be like, nah. Cam Newton carried them. I tell Panther fans this shit all the time, bro. Your motherfuckers is slipping back into irrelevancy. And your motherfuckers was relevant your entire franchise's existence while Cam was there. Like Jake Delahome, that was not a relevant franchise outside of North Carolina if you watch when they had Jake Delahome, except for the year they got to the Super Bowl. When they had Cam Newton, that was a franchise that was on a TV screen, on national media all the time from the point he was there to the moment he left. Cam Newton made that fucking franchise relevant. And you can say, oh, they had Luke Kuechly, had times that nobody cares about defensive players. I love Luke Kuechly as much as anybody. That's one of my favorite defensive players. Cam Newton made that fucking team relevant. You cared about his dancing in the end zone. You cared about his swag, what he wore and shit like that, how he talked. Cam Newton made that motherfucking team relevant, bro. It is what it is. It's some news anchor who was dressing like Cam and shit like that. Like, Cam Newton was that guy in Carolina. And the fans, I truly believe most Carolina fans truly miss Cam and did not like how Carolina treated Cam. Because I see more Carolina fans, and I will give Carolina fans their credit on this. But that's why I don't really like shitting on Carolina. Because I actually feel bad for a lot of their fans. Because a lot of their fans, like, it's very rare that I done seen a Carolina fan say, yeah, I'm glad we got Sam Darnold and got rid of Cam Newton. I've yet to see a fan say, except for one. I know one goofy ass fan who just hate Cam Newton's guts. He don't appreciate shit that Cam Newton ever did for the team. Very confusing as to why he feels this way about Cam. He also don't give Cam respect or credit for anything he did. He didn't realize how good they had it. And I guess he just won't accept how good they had it with Cam because he just don't like Cam. But other than that, I've yet to see many Carolina fans say that they happy about this current situation. A lot of the Carolina fans that I talk to and that I see on Twitter is talking about how they miss Cam Newton and want Cam Newton back and wish that he was still with the team. So, hey, Carolina, you down bad, bro. You're down bad. I'm telling you, bro. I told y'all what y'all gotta get y'all owners to do, bro. Retire Cam Ace Boogie's jersey, create a day for him in Carolina, apologize publicly, and make him an ambassador of the team or something, bro. And then it's gonna be, and build a statue for him. Yeah, build an Ace Boogie statue outside the stadium. Y'all had racist ass Jerry Richardson ass out there as statue around in Panthers, his old ass. So you can definitely put the best player in your franchise on there. Illicit. Somebody about to say, some Carolina fan is about to say Cam Newton is not the best player in franchise history. And you're going to name people like Julius Peppers. You're going to name people like Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith Sr. And listen, to your credit, them the only really, Thomas Davis maybe, them probably the only dudes you can do. But at the end of the day, Cam Newton is the best player in the franchise's history, bro. And if Cam Newton was treated like a quarterback all them years, he would probably still be playing for Carolina right now. Who knows? Because if they gave him the calls he was supposed to get. And I already told y'all, bro, one of the biggest reasons Cam Newton didn't get to live out his entire potential in Carolina was because of Ron Rivera, bro. Like I said, this is one of the, to me, that situation was one of the situations where you find a way to blame everybody, Cam for everything, and don't blame Ron for nothing. Because Ron Rivera is not, listen, I bet you Kevin Stefanski was that coach of Carolina. That defense probably wouldn't have been as nasty, but I bet you the offense would have been way better. It's a lot of different coordinators and coaches that could have done more, way more with that kid. And listen, they was a perennial playoff team with Ron Rivera. But that's because that defense was legitimately one of the top 5 defenses in the league every year. That offense wasn't a top offense. It was carried by Cam fucking Newton. But if they had an offensive-minded head coach or a great offensive coordinator or somebody who was willing to put the team together to help Cam Newton out instead of putting all so much into the defense every fucking year, they tried to help Cam out late, bruh. And then they went and got a fucking running back who can't even stay healthy now. As soon as he signed a contract, can't even say. Derrick Henry is truly an anomaly because that motherfucker just got hurt. This is the first time I think he done got hurt in his career. That motherfucker been the best running back in the league for about 4 years now. And even his body eventually got tired. Christian McCaffrey was the best running back in the league for, a year? And he wasn't even the best because Derrick Henry was still the best that year. He was just great at catching the ball. And his body ain't even been able to keep up with it now. That's another message on why you can't build around running backs, in my opinion, bro. You just can't. Even when the great Derrick Henry just got hurt, bro. And now that Titans team is completely derailed to most people. I think Tannehill could grow some balls and, step up and be better than his normal self with with the talent around him, because I seen those same. I watched Julio for the last couple years make Matt Ryan look like a Hall of Fame quarterback, bro. It is what it is. Listen, you just know the quarterbacks that's great. Cam Newton had nothing, and he was carrying that team all the time. That is a that is a Hall of Fame quarterback, franchise quarterback that motherfuckers gave no credit to. Lamar Jackson is carrying the Baltimore Ravens, bruh. That is a Hall of Fame quarterback, franchise quarterback that motherfuckers ain't giving credit to. Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback, but motherfuckers giving credit to him, and he don't even have to carry the fucking team no more, really. The defense is great all the time. He got the weapons and shit. He don't have to be Superman and shit like that. He just got to be good. He just got to be his normal self. I'm not disrespecting him, but I'm just telling you how fun. Justin Herbert hadn't accomplished nothing that Lamar Jackson accomplished. He got way better targets and shit around him. Yeah, see how they talk about him compared to how they talk about Lamar? I'm just telling you, bruh, it's crazy. And I think Justin Herbert is a franchise quarterback. I do. But I know Lamar is one because what he's done without the weapons that all these other dudes got. What he's done without the running game and all these other. Because he made Mark, and I'm not disrespecting Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram had one good year with us. We haven't had a great franchise running back since Ray Rice. Let me just, I say that, and I ain't really got to say no more if you're a Raven fan. You understand what I'm saying. We haven't had consistency at that position since Ray Rice. Lamar Jackson is the consistency at that position now. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. The man got to provide so much for this team. That is a franchise quarterback. That is a franchise player. Fuck quarterback. That is a franchise guy. He is a Steph Curry of this team. He changes the entire orbital galaxy, stratosphere, Milky Way, shooting stars, the Marvel MCU universe, DC. He changed all that shit like Steph Curry, bro. He changed the gravity of the situation. I could have just said that. I could have just said that. Bro, somebody told me that drinking orange juice make you the high last longer. Now my smart mouth ass, obviously, it said get some better weed and you'll get high longer. But I would have been mad if somebody had told me that. Well, I wouldn't have really got mad because I would have expected that response. See, when I say shit, I usually expect, I know what to expect in return from a motherfucker. That's the type of motherfuckers I be dealing with. I know usually so when somebody throw me off a little bit with something different, that's why I usually laugh. I'm like, well, I didn't expect that. But I just want to know if that's true. Now, I know some people probably say, man, just Google it. Man, fuck you. But anyway, this conversation started all off about Baker trash midfield. And it went a lot of different places. I want to one more time shout out the fucking Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series. Somebody was like, this is big for Atlanta. I'm like, I don't think so. I think they probably going to forget about this soon. I think they care more about the Falcons' loss in the Super Bowl than they care about the Braves winning the World Series. Maybe I'm just the only one who think that, but that's just what it looked like to me. I haven't really seen too many people celebrate the Braves winning. But whatever. I'm going to tell you what else is funny before we peace out. Bruh, I saw somebody say, man, ESPN talked about Squid Games 2 times a day. Talked about the World Series champions 0 times a day. But why you just watching the wrong programming? Because ESPN literally got baseball shows. So that's what. 2, and I'm not trying to defend fucking ESPN. But 2, you expect the motherfuckers who don't watch baseball to talk about baseball just so you could comment, you motherfuckers don't know nothing about baseball. So what are we doing here? Do you really want these motherfuckers to talk baseball? Or do you just want them to acknowledge that baseball exists? Because that actually seemed to be the thing. Y'all want motherfuckers to realize baseball is here. More so than y'all want them to talk about it. Because every fucking time they talk about baseball, I swear some type of controversy happened right after. So if I was them motherfuckers, I wouldn't want to talk about that shit either. But that's just me. But I appreciate y'all for joining me on another fucking episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. We talked a lot about Baker Trashfield today. And I mean every fucking thing I said about him. He's trash. He's a below average quarterback. He got y'all motherfuckers fooled thinking that Odell Beckham Jr. is trash. If I was Odell Beckham Sr., I'd do the same motherfucking thing, bro. I'd come out and stand up for my son too, bro. Fuck y'all. I don't care how y'all feel about that situation, bro. I know how good my son is. And I know how sorry this quarterback is, bro, that y'all keep capping for some reason. Haven't accomplished nearly what he should have been accomplished as a number one quarterback. You can't say the Browns trash. He got all the weapons and shit, bro. Got an offensive line, got the receivers, got the tight ends, got the running backs, got the head coach, got the defense until he started playing so bad the defense could no longer carry him. And it all started in San Diego when they blew that lead because, like I said before, Baker Mayfield and them boys helped them blow that lead because they could no longer score. I'm just telling you. Mean everything I said about Baker Trashfield, man. Got y'all fooled. Odell Beckham Jr. is still that guy. And as soon as he get to a team with a good quarterback, you gonna see that, Baker really is trash. But I'm pretty sure the media makes some excuses and be like, well, that's a different system and a different head coach, and they use them different. All right, man. You can't win with motherfuckers who already done made up their mind that Baker Mayfield is good until he's not the franchise quarterback anymore. But, hey, like I said before, I hope Baker Mayfield get re-signed to a 100-year extension for the Cleveland Browns. The man's trash, so I see absolutely no reason why the Browns should get rid of him as a Raven fan. That's just me. I appreciate you for joining me. I have a dope day, dope night, dope afternoon, whichever time you listen to the video. Share, like, subscribe. Share the channel. Share the podcast with somebody, man. Tell other motherfuckers, man, hey, man, you listening to something, man. Maybe you want to check out a new podcast or something, man. Maybe you want a new vibe in your ear. Maybe you want to fuck with a young buck. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to help a new young motherfucker, a hungry lion step up in the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Point him to this channel. But, hey, man, I fuck with y'all, man. I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate you for checking. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be here with me. Saint out.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired.